Hello viewers and welcome to the lesson. In this video, we shall go through the questions in this paper. This is Mathematics Paper 2. It contains Form 3 work, a paper that is suitable for students who are preparing for KCSE examinations and also for students who are revising Form 3 Mathematics. Remember to check the description of the video. That is where I leave the link to download the question paper. Let's begin with section A of the paper. You're supposed to answer all the questions in these sections in the spaces provided. Question 1, find the perfect term to make 25x squared plus, there's a middle term there that you're supposed to find, plus 9, a perfect square. So which term do we add there in order to make that expression a perfect square? Now I'll start by writing the standard quadratic expression, that is ax squared plus bx plus c. That is a standard, or the standard quadratic expression, where if you try to compare what we have here, you'll notice that 25 will be a will be 25, and then b, we are looking for b, that is what you're supposed to find, and then the constant term is 9. The constant term is 9. Now this is the formula that is suitable for solving this type of equations where we are supposed to complete the square. So if you take b squared divided by 4, or simply, let me put it like this, if you take b divided by 2 squared, that should give a multiplied by c. B is the term that we interested in. So when you square this, b over 2 squared, this will give b squared divided by 4 is equals to a is 25, and then c, the constant term, is 9. So make b the subject by multiplying both sides by 4. When you multiply both sides by 4 of this equation, you'll get b squared is equals to 25 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 4, and this gives b squared is equals to 25 times 9 times 4, that gives 900. So to get b, you get the square root of both sides. Square root of b squared is b. Then the square root of 900 is either positive or negative 30. And that is the term. Remember, we are looking for the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x is what you are looking for. And the term that you're supposed to add in order to make this perfect square can either be positive or negative 30x. Positive or negative 30x. That is what we need to put here. Positive or negative 30x. So that is the term that we need to find. That is how you're supposed to find that. Question 2. Simplify, leaving your answer in the form a plus b root c, where a, b, and c are constant. Something is missing there. So you're supposed to simplify that. This is surds. And to simplify this, I will do it separately. There are several ways of doing it. You can get the LCM and subtract the LCM of the denominators. I will take 5 divided by, so I'll take this one, 5 divided by root of 3 minus the root of 5. I simplify this one first. And to simplify this, you need to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. The conjugate of the denominator is 3 plus root of 5. So do that for both numerator and denominator. So let's go to the numerator. 5 multiplied by 3, that is 15, plus 5 multiplied by root 5, that is 5 root 5. Then for the denominator, this is difference of two squares. 3 minus root 5 multiplied by 3 plus root 5, that is difference of two squares, and it will simplify to 3 squared minus root of 5 squared, which gives 15 plus 5 root of 5 divided by, this will give 9 subtract 5. You get 15 plus 5 root 5 divided by 4. So that is what you get for that. Then I get 3 divided by root of 5. Also simplify these and do the same. I'll rationalize the denominator by multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by root of 5. This gives 3 times root 5. You get 3 root 5 divided by root 5 times root 5 is root 25, which is 5. Now having these two, now you can take them and subtract. So you have 15 plus 5 root of 5 divided by 4. Then we subtract these, 3 root 5, subtract 5. So get the LCM. The least common multiple of 4 and 5 is 20. 20 divided by 4, that is 5. So we have 5 multiplied by 15 plus 5 root of 5, and then subtract 20 divided by 5, you get 4. So you have 4 multiplied by 3 root of 5. This simplifies to, this will give 5 times 15, you get 75, plus 5 times 5 root 5, that will give 25 root of 5. Then subtract 4 times 3 root of 5, that will give 12 root of 5. Everything divided by 20. Then from there, this will simplify to 75. 25 root of 5 subtract 12 root of 5, that gives 13. You'll get 13 root of 5. Everything divided by 20. Now to leave the answer in this format, a plus b root c, you have to take 75. This is the same as 75 divided by 20 plus 13 root 5 divided by 20, of which you can leave it like that, or you can decide to simplify it further by taking 75 divided by 20. That will give 3.75. 3.75, then plus 13 divided by 20, that gives 0.65 root of 5. So you've left the answer in the required format, and that is how you're supposed to do that. Question 3, make x the subject of the formula in that equation. You're supposed to make x the subject. Right now, t is the subject. So the first thing you're going to do, look at the right hand side, that you have a lot of work to do. So for the right hand side, to get rid of the square root, or to remove the square root first, we'll need to square both sides. So square both sides, and the reason why we do this is to remove this root sign that is here. So when you square t, you get t squared. Then when you square the right hand side, when you square everything there, both the numerator and the denominator, for the numerator you get x squared. Then for the denominator, the root sign when you square will be eliminated, and you will be in with x minus b, x plus b. That is what you get. Then since you want to make x the subject, you shall eliminate the denominator first to make this work to be easier in this right hand side by multiplying, or let me just cross multiply, which will still be the same. If I put this on over 1 and then I cross multiply like that, I will have t squared, then x. So here we'll have multiplied by x minus b, x plus b is equals to x squared. Now there's something that you need to notice here. Look at this part that is here. This is difference of two squares, and recall, just to recall this, that given a plus b multiplied by a minus b, this simplifies when expanded a squared minus b squared. So we have, you can just compare x minus b, x plus b. This one is going to simplify to x squared minus b squared. So now, having noted that, you shall therefore have t squared and then multiply by the whole of these. X minus b multiplied by x plus b will simplify to x squared minus b squared, which gives x squared. The left hand side, open this bracket, multiplying everything inside the bracket by t squared. So t squared multiplied by x squared, that will give t squared x squared. Then t squared multiplied by b squared, that will give t squared b squared is equals to x squared. Once you have that, now you can group the terms with x squared together. So I'll group these. So we have x squared is there and x squared is there. Can bring them to the same side. I'll bring them to the left hand side so that I have x squared, t squared, x squared. Then to get x squared from the right hand side to the left hand side, you subtract it from both sides. So you shall have subtract x squared is equals to, then for this one you can take it to the right hand side, and that one will be t squared b squared, like that. So look at this, x squared is common, x squared is common on the left hand side. So when you factorize x squared, you're going to remain with t squared minus 1, which gives t squared b squared. Now it is easier from here, because you're making x the subject, you want to eliminate everything from the left hand side and remain with x squared. So divide both sides by t squared minus 1. So this will give x squared is equals to t squared b squared divided by t squared minus 1. So what we've done is simply dividing both sides by t squared minus 1. From there, we are interested with x, not x squared. So what do you do to get x from x squared? You get the square root of both sides. The square root of x squared is x. Then the square root of the whole of these. Remember, when you're getting the square root, you'll either get positive or negative answer. So t squared b squared, everything divided by t squared minus 1, which simplifies to, when you look at the numerator here, it is possible to get the square root of t squared b squared. That will be tb. And then for the denominator, you can get directly the square root of that. So you leave it like that. And this will be either positive or negative for the whole of that. So now that one is the required answer. You've made x the subject of the formula. Question 4. So for k, given that logarithm of k to the base of 3 squared, subtract the logarithm of k power 0.5 is equals to logarithm of 8 to the base of 2. So you need to look at that equation carefully, and you also need to understand the basic laws of logarithms for you to solve this question. Those laws are very important. Now let me look at one thing here. When you look at this term that is here, you need to know that when you raise this k to power 0.5, that is the same as a half. A half is going to simplify the whole thing. So you can just write that one as 1 over 2 instead of 0.5, just to see whether that is going to simplify the whole thing. Then also you look at the right hand side, you can write that one in a simpler way. Again, logarithm of 8 to the base of 2, you can write it because you know that 8 is equivalent to 2 cubed, so you can be able to simplify that. So let us first look at those two. Then for this one, we don't have any law that we can use to, any law of logarithm that we can use to simplify that, but there's something we're going to do first. Let us work out these. So this will give logarithm of k squared, and then for this one we just said that we're going to write this one as logarithm of k raised to power half, which is the same as 0.5. The base of 3 is equals to logarithm of 2, and then 8 is 2 cubed. Then from there we can have this one as using the basic laws of logarithm of k to power half. This will simplify to a half logarithm of k, the base of 3. So you need to understand that law. And then for the right hand side, logarithm of 2 cubed to the base of 2, that one again will simplify to 3 logarithm of 2 to the base of 2. Now after doing that, something else that you need to recall is look at the right hand side. Logarithm of 2 to the base of 2 will simplify to 1. Why? Recall this law, logarithm of a to the base of a, that will give 1. So now having that, let us write this equation again. So we shall have a half logarithm of k base of 3 is equals to, so this will be 3 multiplied by 1, which is 3. Since logarithm of 2 to the base of 2 is 1, so we shall have 3 times 1. Now after that, now when you look at that equation the way we've done, we don't have any other way to simplify that. And what can help us now from here is simply forming a quadratic equation, whereby we shall let logarithm of k to the base of 3 to be x, so that we may be able to simplify. If logarithm of k to the base of 3 is equals to x, then logarithm of k to the base of 3 squared, that will give x squared. So this one will give x squared. Then this one will have a half logarithm of k to the base of 3, that is x. Then subtract 3. We've just brought subtracted 3 from both sides, and this will give 0. We can eliminate this denominator here by multiplying each term by 2. So 2 times x squared, you get 2x squared. Half x times 2, you get x. And then negative 3 times 2, you get negative 6, which is equals to 0. So you see, this is a quadratic equation. We can solve this one using any suitable method and get the value of x. So you simply need to look for two numbers whose product is 2 times negative 6, that is negative 12, and sum will be negative 1. These numbers are negative 4 and 3. So now we can solve this. This will give 2x squared negative 4x plus 3x minus 3 is equals to 0. Factorize. 2x is common. X minus 2 plus 3x. Now this is a 6 something here. This is 6. You subtract 6, that you get x minus 2 is equals to 0. This simplifies to 2x plus 3. X minus 2 is equals to 0. You have two values of x, so the first one will be 2x plus 3 is equals to 0, and here the value of x will be negative 3 over 2. Then when x minus 2 is equals to 0, here the value of x will be 2. So you have two values of x. That means we have two values of k. Now from there, remember we are not solving for x in this equation. We have to recall this, whatever we have here. We had said that x is equivalent to logarithm of k to the base of 3. So that means now from here, we have logarithm of k to the base of 3 is equals to the first value of k, which is negative 3 over 2, the first value of x. So from here, remember this is in logarithmic notation. So if you write this one in index notation, you'll get k will be given by 3 to power 3 over 2, or k is equals to 3 to power 3 over 2 is the same as negative 1.5. That is the first value. Then using the second value of x, logarithm of k, the base of 3, will be given by 2. That is k. So from here, k will be given by 3 squared, and that will give 9. So k is equals to 9. So these are the two values of x, not x but k. So k is equals to, you can simplify this, k is equals to 3 to power 1.5. So you can get that. So 3 to power negative 1.5, that one you will have it as k is equals to 0.1925, or k is equals to 9. So that is how you're supposed to solve that question on logarithms. Question 5. The volume V of a cylinder varies jointly with its height h and the square of its radius r. Determine the percentage increase in the volume of the cylinder if its radius increases in the ratio 3:2 and its height decreases by 30%. So this is joint variation. The first thing is to write the relationship between V, h and r. So the volume V of a cylinder varies jointly, sign of proportionality, jointly as height and as the square of its radius. The square of its radius is supposed to be like that. That is how you write that relationship. The next step is to remove the proportionality sign, and we replace that with an equal sign. So when you remove that sign, you have to introduce a constant, and I'll let the constant of proportionality be represented by k, like that. Now having that, now we can go to the other statement. You're supposed to determine the percentage increase in the volume if the radius increases in the ratio 3:2. So what will be the new radius? Because it increases in the ratio 3:2. So if it increases in the ratio 3:2, the new radius will be 3 over 2 multiplied by the original, 3 over 2r. Or you can simply write this one as 1.5 r. That will be the new radius. Then what about the new height? The new height decreases. The height decreases by 30%. The original, you see the original was 100. Then if it decreases by 30%, so that means the new one will be 70%. 70 divided by 100 h. This one you can write it in decimal form as 0.7 h. So now we have the new values of r and h. Now we can get the new volume. the new volume. We are calculating the new volume using new radius. So we have k, the constant must be there of proportionality, multiplied by the new height, which is 0.7 h, times the new radius, which is 1.5. And remember that 1.5 r is the new radius, and you have to square the radius like that. Don't make a mistake of just squaring r and forgetting to square 1.5. So now this one will give k multiplied by 0.7 multiplied by h multiplied by 1.5 multiplied by 1.5, then multiplied by r squared. When you square that, is what you're going to get. So when you multiply these, 0.7 times 1.5 squared, you will get 1.575, then h is there, and also k, don't forget k, h r squared. So that is the new volume. Now, having obtained the new volume, we now can calculate the percentage increase. Percentage increase in volume will be given by the increase divided by the original volume multiplied by 100. How do you get the increase in the volume? By taking the new volume, which is 1.575 k h r squared, then subtract the original volume. The original volume is here. This is the original volume, k h r squared. So that is the increase. Divide by the original. The original is k h r squared, and then multiply that by 100. So this gives, when you subtract 1.575 subtract 1, you get 0.575 k h r squared divided by k h r squared multiplied by 100. K h r squared will divide out, and you will be left with 0.575 multiplied by 100, which gives an increase of 57.5%, and that is the solution. Question 6. The position vectors of P and Q are given as P is equals to 4i plus 3j plus k, and Q is equals to 7i minus 3j plus 4k, respectively. Another point R is along line PQ such that PQ ratio PR is equals to 3:4. Find the position vector of R. Find the position vector of R. Now I'll solve this question using the ratio theorem. First of all, let us look at this ratio that you're given here. So I'll draw a straight line here. There's a line, and then I'll indicate point P. So P is there, and Q is there, and then PQ ratio PR. So R is, when you look at that ratio, you'll notice that R divides line PQ externally. Looking at this ratio, PQ, PR is 3:4. So that means PQ, that length is 3. You write it here. That one is 3. And then P to R, that is 4. So from this, the whole of that length there, that one is 4. So that is 4. And then we have this part, PQ, that one is 3. So from the ratio, that is what you get. PQ, PR is equals to 3. So R divides PQ externally. And now we need to get the ratio in which R divides PQ externally. Now when you look at this distance from P to R, that is 4. and then from P to Q, that is 3. So this distance here will be 1. And since this is external division, the external division in this direction, this will be -1. So that is very important. So that distance from R to Q, that will be -1. So we can say that R divides PQ in the ratio 4:1. That is external division. So R divides PQ in the ratio 4:1. So using the ratio theorem, of course, if all these are position vectors, so it means they are vectors with reference from point O, the origin. So let me indicate point O. So point O is here. So OP is there, OQ is there, and OR. And since we are required to get position vector of R, that means we are required to get OR. That is what is going to give us the position vector of R. Position vector is vector with the reference from point O, or the origin. Now using the ratio theorem, I'll take these 4 to be represented by M, and then -1 will be N. So using the ratio theorem, we have OR will be M divided by M plus N. N is -1. Let me indicate here. M is 4 and N is -1. Is this distance here. So M, the side that is opposite that distance is this. So I'll draw a line to indicate that. So we're going to multiply by that distance there. So that will be vector OQ. OQ, then plus N divided by M plus N, and then N, the side that is opposite N, is OP. So it is OP. Just drawing this one to show you. So that is the one that is, so N divided by M plus N, OP. We shall express vectors, position vector of P and Q, in terms of column vector. So P is 4i plus 3j plus k. So writing that one as position vector will be 4, 3, 1. And then for Q, we have 7, -3, and 4. I'm simply taking the coefficients of I, j, and k. So now using the ratio theorem, so M is 4 divided by M plus N, that is 4 plus -1, that will be 4 minus 1, to be 3. And then OQ, 7, -3, 4, plus N, which is -1, divided by M plus N, that is 4 plus -1, that is 3. Then we multiply that by OP, which is 4, 3, 1, like that. So we proceed. 4/3 multiplied by 7, that will be 28/3. 4/3 multiplied by -3, that will give -4. 4/3 multiplied by 4, that will be 16/3, like that. Then plus -1/3 times 4, that will be -4/3. -1/3 times 3, that will give -1. -1/3 times 1, that will be -1/3. like that. So when you add these, 28/3 subtract 4/3, that will give 24/3, which will give 8. -4 plus -1, that will be -5. 16/3 subtract 1/3, that will be 15/3, which is 5. So that is what you get. Now the position vector of R, which is OR, will now be given by 8i, using the column vector here, 8i minus 5j plus 5k. So that is how you're supposed to solve that question using the ratio theorem. Question 7. A trader mixed rice grade A costing 150 shillings per kg with rice grade B costing 120 per kg in the ratio 5:1 in order to make a blend X. In what ratio should grade B rice be mixed with blend X rice to make a blend Y costing 135 shillings per kg? So we start with getting the cost price of 1 kg of blend X. So the trader mixed grade A that cost 150 per kg with grade B costing 120 per kg in the ratio. So A that costs 150 shillings per kg with grade B costing 120 per kg in the ratio 5:1. So now these produced blend X, 1 kg of blend X. So let us get the cost price of 1 kg of blend X, which is made by mixing blend A and blend B. This is how we do it. We take to get 1 kg of blend X, we'll take 150 multiplied by 5. So 150 multiplied by 5, that is the corresponding ratio. Then we add 120 times 1, and then we divide by the sum of the ratio, that is 5 plus 1, which is 6. Now these will give the cost price of 1 kg of the mixture. And this is what will give that mixture is X, blend X. So work out these 150 times 5, that will give 750 plus 120 divided by 6. So we work out these. So 750 plus 120, and then we divide by 6. So we get 145. So that is the cost of 1 kg of blend X. Blend X. It's good to note that. So this one is blend X. Then in the other statement, you are being asked in what ratio should grade B be mixed with blend X in order to make blend Y, which will cost 135 per kg. So already we have blend B costs 120 per kg, and then blend X, we already obtained the cost of 1 kg of blend X, which was mixed. Whatever gave us that was when it was mixed with A was mixed with B to give blend X. We got that. So blend X 145, and now we require to get the ratio in which these two, blend B costing 120 should be mixed with blend Y, blend X costing 145. What ratio? We let the ratio to be X is to Y because we don't know that ratio, but already we know that when it is mixed this way, 1 kg should cost 135. So how do we get the mixture? We simply take 120 multiplied by x plus 145 multiplied by y. Then we divide by the sum of the ratio, which is x plus y. The same thing we did here. And these should give the cost of, this will give y. And y should cost 135 per kg. So now we solve these. So we get, we multiply both sides. So multiply this side by x plus y, and then this side by x plus y. So when you multiply the left hand side, that one will divide out, and then you'll have 120x plus 145y is equals to 135x plus 135y. We want to get the ratio x is to y. So I can, several ways of doing this. I can take x to this side, so 135x minus 120x, just group the like terms together. Then on the left hand side I'll have 145y minus 135y. So this will give 145 minus 135, that will give 10y is equals to 135x minus 120x, that will give 15x. Since you want to get the ratio x is to y, you can divide, you can simply divide both sides by 10y and this side by 10y. So that you have, this will be 1 is equals to, you can divide this one out by 5, 3 by 5, 2. So this will give 3 over 2 x divided by y. So from here, you can make xy the subject by simply multiplying both sides by the reciprocal of 3 over 2, which is 2/3. So this side by 2/3. So with this, you will get x over y, this side, because you shall have by 3 1 by 3 1 by 2 1 by 2 1. So x divided by y will give 2 over 3. And this is how you get the ratio now. X over y, this is the same as x ratio y. It means it is 2 is to 3. So that is the ratio in which this blend is supposed to be mixed. Question 8. A circle center D, 2, -1, passes through the point P, -6, 5. Find the equation of the circle in the form x squared plus y squared plus ax plus by plus c is equals to 0. So that is a question. In order to solve this question, you need to understand the standard equation of a circle. The standard equation of a circle is given by x minus a squared plus y minus b squared is equals to radius squared, where AB is the center and of course R is the radius. Since you're given the center is here, D 2, -1. So that means if you compare these, A will be 2 and B will be -1. Then it passes through the point P, -6, 5. So you'll take these to be the x coordinate, -6 to be the x coordinate where it passes, and 5 to be the y coordinate. So now if you substitute x is equals to -6 from this point P and y is equals to 5, you substitute that in this equation, you'll be able to get the radius. Then from the radius, we'll be able to get the equation of the circle. So x, which is -6, subtract a, which is 2, like that, you square, plus y, which is 5, then subtract b. B is -1, so when you subtract -1, you'll get +1 there. You square that, that should give r squared. So these will give 64 plus 36 is equals to r squared. So therefore r will be given by the square root of 64 plus 36, that is 100. And therefore the radius will be 10. Once you get the radius, now it will be easy to get the equation, because you only need now to take x, then subtract a. A is the center, which is 2. Remember, a is here. And then plus y minus b. So that will be plus 1, because b is -1. You're using this equation, y minus b, where b is -1. Then you square this. Don't forget to square this. It should give radius squared, which is 10 squared, like that. Expand this, you get x squared minus 4x plus 4. Then expand y plus 1, you get y squared plus 2y plus 1 is equals to 100. Won't write it in this form. So x squared plus y squared, then minus 4x plus 2y, and then the constant is 4 plus 1, that is 5, is equals to 100. Again, I should bring the constant to the left hand side. So the final equation will be x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 2y, then 100, subtract 100 from both sides, so we'll get 5 subtract 100, that will be minus 95 is equals to 0. That is the required equation. Question 9, part A, expand 1 minus 2x to power 5 in ascending powers of x up to the term in x cubed. So the first thing is getting the coefficients of power 5 from the Pascal's triangle. The coefficients of power 5 is 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, and 1. So those are the coefficients. But remember, we are expanding these in ascending powers up to the term in x cubed. So the first one is 1 to power 5. Then plus the second one, take the coefficient, then multiply by 1 to power 4, and then negative 2x to power 1. Then plus the other coefficient is 10 times 1 to power 3 times negative 2x to power 2, plus the other coefficient is 10 multiplied by 1 to power 2 times negative 2x to power 3. So we shall stop there, because this is where we shall have the term in x cubed. Once you get this negative 2x cubed, that is where you shall have x cubed. So that is where you're supposed to stop. So now we need to simplify these. We need to simplify all these. So the first one here, 1 to power 5 is 1, and then this is 5 multiplied by negative 2x, that will be negative 10x. Then this one will be positive 10 multiplied by negative 2x squared, that will be 4x squared, times 10, that will be 40x squared. Then subtract, these are 10 multiplied by 1 squared, so negative 2x cubed is negative 8. Negative 8 times 10, that is negative 80x cubed. So that is the expansion up to the term in x cubed. Part B, hence evaluate 1.02 to power 5 correct 4 decimal places. Now this is how you do it. Because you're supposed to use the expansion in part A, you'll take the first thing you need to get is the value of x. 1 subtract 2x. We're using the expansion that we got. Quit that one to whatever you have here, 1.02 to power 5, like that. And then the reason why you're writing this is to get the value of x, of which you shall use to substitute in that expansion. To get the value of x, this is what you're going to do. 1, you simply ignore the power. 1 minus 2x is equals to 1.02. Just ignore the power because the power is on both sides. So 2x therefore will be given by 1 minus 1.02. So 2x is equals to, this will give negative 0.02. So x divide both sides by 2, this will give negative 0.01. That is the value of x. Now after getting the value of x, you now substitute it in the expansion that is here. So 1 minus 10x, x is negative 0.01, then plus 40x squared, 40x squared is there, substitute, and then minus 80x cubed. So that is the expansion. Use the calculator to work out these. Now this one correct to 4 decimal places. Correct to 4, is it 4 decimal places or 4 decimal places? You will have 1.010141. 1.0141. That is correct to 4 decimal places. Question 10. The sum of the 5th and 11th terms of an arithmetic progression is 46. The 17th term is 2.5 times the 7th term. Find the sum of the first 20 terms of the series. So the first thing, write the 5th and the 11th terms of the arithmetic progression. So how do we write the 5th term? The 5th term is written as a plus 4d. Then the 11th term is a plus 10d. Now when you add the two, when you get the sum of the 5th and the 11th terms, you get 46. So when you take a plus 4d, add a plus 10d, that one gives 46. A plus a, you get 2a, 4 plus 10d, you get 14d. That gives 46. You cannot solve this equation, just a single equation with two unknowns. So that one is the first equation. Go to the other statement. The 17th term, which is written as a plus 16d, that is the 17th term of the arithmetic progression, is 2.5 times. 2.5 times is 2.5. The 7th term is a plus 6d. So the 17th term, which is a plus 16d, is equals to 2.5 times 2.5, the 7th term. So here you shall have another equation. So a plus 16d is equals to 2.5 multiplied by a, 2.5a, then 2.5 times 6, that will give 15d. You can reorganize this equation. I can take everything to the right hand side. So this will give 2a subtract a plus 15d minus 16d. I've subtracted a and 16d from both sides. 2a minus a, you get a. 15d minus 16d, you get minus 1d is equals to 0. Let me see whether that is okay. There's something I've not written here. We have 2 by something 2.5, not written 2.5 here, something here, or to have written 2.5a. 2.5a, had omitted that. So 2.5a minus a, because I've subtracted at this stage here, I have subtracted a and 16d from both sides. So 2.5a minus a, that will give 1.5a. Then subtract 15d minus 16d minus d. So here we have the second equation. So now you can see we have two equations. We have that and we have that. We can solve them simultaneously. So 2a plus 14d is equals to 46, and 1.5a minus d is equals to 0. Now I can use the second equation because it is easier. Make d the subject. From the second equation, d is equals to 1.5a. So you can substitute 1.5a in the first equation, where we have 2a. Now from this one, 2a plus 14d. d is 1.5a is equals to 46. So this gives 2a, then plus 14 times 1.5. 14 times 1.5, multiply that. That gives 21. 21a is equals to 46. So from here you have 2a plus 21a, you get 23a is equals to 46. And when you divide both sides by 23, you get a to be 2. A will be 2. 46 divided by 23. Then d will be 1.5 times a. A is 2. So d will be 3. So we have obtained the values of a and d. So we have d is there and a is there. So let me write a is 2 and d is 3. Now we got that so that it can help us to get the sum of the first 20 terms of the series. This one is an arithmetic series, and this is how we get the sum of a number of terms n is given by, so the sum of the 20 terms will be therefore S20. The sum n will be 20. So this is the formula. Very important to master this formula. 2a plus n minus 1 d. So that is the formula that you're going to use, because you're getting the sum of the first 20 terms. N will be 20, like that. Then 2a, substitute a is 2, plus n, 20 minus 1. Then multiply by d. D is 3. So that is what you're supposed to get. So this will give 10. Then 4 plus 19 times 3. That is 57. 19 times 3, 57. So this will give 10 times. This is 61. And this will give sum of 610. Question 11. Find the exact value of 0.7 radian into degrees. So you're required to convert 0.7 radians into degrees. This is very simple. You only need to know that 1 radian is equivalent to 57.29 degrees. So what about 0.7 radian? You just need to multiply these. 0.7 times 57.29, and this gives, so 0.7 times 57.29, this gives 40.103 degrees. Question 12. Chords A, B, and CD of a circle center O are produced to meet at point T as shown below. The diagram is there. Given that BT is equals to 4, CD is equals to 6, and CT is equals to 5, calculate the length of AB. So for you to solve this question, you need to understand the properties of circles, chords, and tangents. And specifically, what you're going to use here is the property of the intersecting chords outside the circle. This chord AB and chord DC, they are intersecting outside the circle, that is at point T. So which property relates to chords that intersect outside the circle? This is a property given these chords AB extended to T. Property is AT. If you take AT, multiply by BT, that should be equivalent to DT multiplied by CT, like that. So AT, because you don't know the measurement of AB, can let AB to be X. So AT will be given by X plus 4, like that. Then BT is 4. That should give DT. DT is 6 plus 5, which is 11, times CT, which is 5. So multiply these, you get 4x plus 16 is equals to 55. So 4x is equivalent to 55. You subtract 16, that gives 39. It gives 39. So x will be given by 39 divided by 4. 39 divided by 4, which gives 9.75. So x is equals to 9.75. And remember, x is the one that we refer to as AB. So AB is 9.75 centimeters. Question 13. Construct tangents to the circle from an external point P as shown below. So you need to construct tangents to the circle from external point P. The first thing that you need to get is the center of the circle. How do you get the center of the circle? To get the center of the circle, you need first to construct any two chords, whichever you draw the two chords, like that. Then when you construct the perpendicular bisectors of each of those chords, their point of intersection will give the center. So the first one, me bisect the first one. I take a pair of compass and bisect the first one. So this is how you bisect the first. So mark an arc there, and then another arc here, down there, the same radius, extend it that point, then cut that arc, then also cut that arc. So you need to extend this arc here a little bit. So you need to extend that arc there. Oh, it is not right. That one. So once you do that, that is the, take a straight ruler and draw a straight line from that point. So that is the perpendicular bisector of that chord. That is the first chord. Then go to the other chord that you drew. The other chord is here. Construct perpendicular bisector of that chord as well. So standing at that point, again, so mark an arc there, and another one below there. Then stand on the other point of the chord, standing on that point. Then cut that arc, and then cut this arc as well. So from there, join the point of intersection of these arcs. So check the point of intersection of the two. The point of intersection of the two chords. That is the center. This is the center here. So this point that is here is the center. So that is how you get the center of the circle. Just draw any two chords. Draw any two chords and then construct perpendicular bisectors of each of those chords. The point of intersection of the perpendicular bisectors gives the center. Now, the moment you get the center, join the center using a straight line to point P, like that. Join the center using a straight line to, and I'll call these, let me name this one, point O, the center, like that. Then from there, after joining the center of the circle to point P, construct perpendicular bisector of, again, that line OP. Construct perpendicular bisector of point or this line OP. So now we're constructing perpendicular bisector of that line OP. Just mark an arc there, big one, and then below them another arc. So with the same radius, stand at point P, then cut that arc, and then cut this arc again, like that. Join this point like that. So that is the perpendicular bisector of OP. Then from there, you will need to just stand at the center there. This point, let me name this point as, I name this point as N. This point, stand at N. N is the midpoint of OP. So stand there and then take that distance. Take distance ON. Take distance ON. So with that distance ON, mark an arc on this, on the circle, and then mark another arc here. Mark another arc here. The circle. So you can see you've made two arcs. So you have this arc and you have this arc. Take the ruler now. You are now constructing the tangents. Take a ruler and then draw a straight line touching that point. Let me name this point as X. This point is X, like that, and this one Y. So draw using a ruler, draw a straight line the way I've drawn this one here. So from P to X, then another one from P to Y, using a ruler to do this to X. So you can see these are the tangent. The tangent, this line is touching that part of the circle. It is a tangent through X, and the other one through Y. And that is simply how you're supposed to construct the tangents, the circle from an external point. Question 14. The table below shows the values of T and the corresponding values of H for the given relation. So we have T and we have H. On the grid provided, draw a graph to represent the information on the table above. So drawing this one is quite easy. You only need to, on the y-axis you have H, and then on the x-axis you have T. So drawing that one is very easy. Just ensure that you plot the values correctly and understand the scale. For the y-axis, 1 centimeter represents 0.1, that is 1, and then one small square will represent 0.2. You just need to divide. So we have 1 divided by 5. So 0.2, one small square for both axes. Once you know that, you only need to plot. Once you plot, this is what you're going to have when you plot those values. So 0, 7, 0, 7 is the first one. You can see it here. 0, 7, the first one. Then the second one is the second one. So the second one is 1, 4 is there. Then 2, 2, 2, 2 is here. You can see it is here. So the first one, 0, 7 is there. 1, 4 is there. 2, 2 is there. And then 3, 1.2. So 3, 1.2 is there. Then 4, 0.8. 4, 0.8 is there. And lastly, 5, 0.5 is there. So that is what you're supposed to do. You get a mark for correct plotting. For plotting, you get a mark. And then for the curve, you get a mark. Those are 2 marks. Very easy. Then you draw a smooth curve. We go to the next question after that. Use the graph to determine the average rate of change between t is equals to 0.5 and t is equals to 4. The average rate of change between t is equals to 0.5, t is equals to 0.5, and t is equals to 4 seconds. So you just need to read from the table the values of t at 0.5. When t is 0.5, when t is 0.5 is here, so just read directly. So the value of h, read the corresponding value of h when t is equals to 0.5 to be there, to be 5.5. It is actually here. Let me mark it. It is actually here. So this is 5.5. 5.5. Then when t is equals to 4, when t is equals to 4 is here, then you read the corresponding y value. So 4, you can see this is 0.8. 4, 0.8. Let me mark it. It is here. When t is equals to 4, h is equals to 0.8. Now to get the average rate of change, you simply need to get the gradient between t is equals to 0.5 and t is equals to 4. Get the average rate of change is getting the gradient. If you draw, let's say you draw a straight line there, you need to get the gradient of that line using these points. These points when t is equals to 0.5 and when t is equals to 4. Get the gradient. So how do you get the gradient? Change in y, that is the average rate of change, divided by the change in x. Change in y, I will use these points, 0.5 and 5.5 and 4 is 0.8. I'll use those points. So change in y, change in y. So we start with the 5.5, subtract 0.8, then divided by 0.5, subtract 4. That is how you get the average rate of change. It is the gradient of that straight line that is there. So this will give 4.7 divided by 0.5 minus 4 minus 3.5. And when you divide these, you'll get negative 1.343 as the solution. Question 15. A die and a coin are cast simultaneously. Part 1. Draw a table to show all the possible outcomes. You're supposed to show on a probability space all the outcomes when a die and a coin are cast. A coin has 2 faces, the head and the tail. So those are the outcomes. I've drawn the diagram there to show all the outcomes. Then for the die, so the die is on this side. The die has 6 faces. These are the numbers on each of the faces from number 1 to number 6 is the die. Then the coin has a head and a tail. So now when they are tossed simultaneously, you have either the probability of getting 1 and a head. You have 1 and a tail. You have 2 and a head showing, then 2 and a tail showing, 3 and a head showing, then 3 and a tail showing, 4 and a head showing, 4 and a tail showing, 5 and a head showing, 5 and a tail showing, then 6 and a head showing, and then 6 and a tail. So those are the possible outcomes. All the outcomes are, count everything, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these are 12 outcomes are possible. Coin has 2 sides, the head and the tail. Then for the die, 6 faces. These are the numbers on each of the faces. So that is a table showing all the possible outcomes. We go to the second part. What is the probability of a tail and a number less than 4 showing up? A tail, probability of a tail and a number that is less than 4 showing up. So we need to go to this probability space or the outcomes. So where do we have a number less than 4 showing up and a tail? So there is a 1 and a tail. Then we have 2 and a tail. And then we have 3 and a tail. So we want where there is a tail and a number less than 4 showing up. So those are the only ones that I can see. 1 and a tail, 2 and a tail, then 3 and a tail. 4 will be more. All the others, 4 and a tail, 5 and a tail, 6 and a tail, will be more than 4. We need number less than 4. So starting from 3, 2, and 1. So those are the 3 outcomes. So the probability will be 3 out of all the total outcomes, which is 12. And this one simplifies to 1 over 4. Question 16. A carpenter wishes to cut a 2-meter long piece of wood into 3 equal parts. He approximates the length of each piece to 0.66 meters. Calculate the percentage error due to this approximation. You need to get the percentage error. So how do you get the percentage error? That is where we begin. So percentage error is given by the error in this measurement, then divided by the actual measurement, then you multiply by 100. Now what is the error? We begin with the error. This carpenter wishes to cut a 2-meter long piece into 3 equal parts. So we need to know the length of each part. That will give us the actual. The actual length of each part will be 2 meters. Then you divide by 3 because it's cutting them into 3 equal pieces. So we leave it at that. The moment you approximate, you start writing it in decimal form and cutting it maybe to a number of significant figures or decimal places, you'll be creating another error. So just leave it the way it is. Then he approximates. For him, he doesn't get 2/3. He approximates. This is now the approximation that he makes, 0.66 meters. So because here we have a fraction as the actual, we can write this one as a fraction as well, which will be 66 divided by 100. And now, having the actual measurement of each piece is 2/3, and then we have the approximated, we can get the error from there. So the error, you're going to get the error by taking the actual 2/3, subtract the approximated value, which is 66 divided by 100. That will give us the error. And when you subtract these, you'll get 2/3 subtract 66 over 100, you'll get 1 divided by 150. 1 divided by 150. So that is the error. So now we can proceed and get the percentage error. So the percentage error will be given by error, which is 1 divided by 150, then divided by the actual the actual measurement, which is 2/3, like that, then multiply by 100. So the error divided by the actual measurement times 100. So this gives 1 divided by 150 times 3/2 times 100, like that. So this gives by 2, this by 250, by 51, by 53, then by 31, by 31. So the whole of this gives 1% as the error. And that is how you're supposed to solve that.